You take your dog out for a walk and it feels like work. Your dog pulls on the leash, lunges at other dogs, won't settle no matter how long the walk is. Most of the time, nothing is wrong with your dog. The walk itself might be what's making it harder. Here are 10 small things that shape how your dog experiences a walk, counted down from 10. Number 10, mix up your routes. This is one that a lot of owners don't think about. The walk becomes a loop. Same streets, same corners, same order, every day. From your side, it's just routine. It gets you out the door and keeps things simple. From your dog's side, it can get flat. Dogs use walks to take in what's around them. When the environment stops changing, their attention starts drifting too. That's when you see more pulling, more barking at random things, more looking for anything interesting to land on. It's not that they're being difficult, they just don't have much to work with. One small change is walking your usual loop backwards. Everything looks and smells different when you come at it from the other direction. A different park once in a while helps too. Even walking on the other side of the street. It doesn't have to be a big change, just enough to give them something to notice. The next one takes some honesty. Number 9, be more interesting than everything else.
Make sure their butt is firmly on the ground before you praise and give the treat.
On a walk, you're not the only thing your dog is paying attention to. There's another dog across the street, a dropped piece of food on the sidewalk, a kid on a scooter. Most of those things are more interesting than your voice. That's not your dog being bad, it's just how their attention works. The real question is whether they see you as part of what's going on or just the person at the other end of the leash. 2 things help shift that. The first is timing. When your dog looks up at you on their own, that's the moment to mark it. A quiet yes, a treat, right away. The second is what you're using. Dry kibble doesn't compete with a pizza crust. Small pieces of chicken or cheese do. Over time, your dog starts checking in more often. Not because you're asking them to, because it's become worth it from their side. Then comes number 8, hold the leash the right way. Most people grip the leash tighter than they need to. Wrist wrapped, arm locked, shoulders up. Your dog feels all of that. Tension travels down the leash without you realizing. What works better is keeping your hand low, near your hip, shoulders loose. A little slack in the leash when things are calm. When your dog pulls, instead of yanking back, you can slide your open hand along the leash and gather the slack gently. One thing worth mentioning, don't wrap the leash around your wrist. A sudden lunge can hurt you more than you'd expect. The goal isn't to hold them back, it's just to stay connected. That small change in how you hold the leash changes what your dog feels on the other end. Next comes the one thing people don't always think through. Number 7, picking the right gear.
There are a lot of products out there that are cleverly marketed as quick fix solutions.
A flat collar on a dog that pulls puts all the pressure on their throat. For flat-faced breeds, that matters even more because their airways are already sensitive. Retractable leashes can teach the opposite of what you want. The more the dog pulls, the more space they get. Over time, pulling becomes the thing that works. Some gear is designed around correction. The issue is that correction-based tools can create fear around the exact things you want your dog to feel calm about. What tends to work better is a Y-shaped harness with a front clip and a plain leash between 4 and 6 feet. The gear doesn't do the training on its own, but when it fits right and feels safe, everything else gets easier. Number 6, start before you open the door.
You can do a sit-stay, or you can not do a sit-stay. Doesn't really matter to me.
The walk doesn't start when you step outside. It starts when you reach for the leash. If your dog is already spinning, whining, and pushing at the door while you're still getting ready, they're not leaving the house calm. They're leaving wound up, and that usually carries into the first part of the walk. What helps is slowing the whole thing down. You pick up the leash. If they settle, you clip it. If they don't, you wait. You take a step toward the door. If they stay calm, you take another. If they get too excited again, you pause. The first few days, it feels slow. Sometimes it feels like you're not getting anywhere, but after a bit, you'll notice them settling on their own. They figure out that calm is what keeps things moving forward. That shift at the door tends to carry into the rest of the walk. Number 5, learn the quiet signals. Dogs communicate more than most people notice. Most of it just doesn't look like communication. A slow lick of the lips when there's no food. A yawn when they're not tired. A sudden sniff at the ground when another dog is approaching. A quick head turn away from something. These are ways dogs try to keep things calm. When those smaller signals get missed, the dog keeps trying. The signals get bigger. Eventually they look like barking or lunging. From the outside, it feels sudden, but it wasn't. Dogs also don't usually greet each other head on. They prefer to curve around each other. So walking straight past another leashed dog on a narrow sidewalk can feel tense, even when nothing obvious is wrong. Giving a few extra feet of space when you see another dog coming or stepping off the path for a moment makes a difference. Once you start noticing these signals, you see them everywhere, and the walk starts to feel different because you're finally picking up what they've been saying the whole time. Number 4, let them sniff.
Give him a cue like go sniff, and follow his lead as he searches out the smelliest of smells.
This is a small one, but it shows up more than people realize. On walks, it's easy to keep things moving. Your dog stops. You give a light pull, you keep going. It feels like nothing, just a normal part of getting the walk done. But for your dog, smell is how they make sense of where they are. A patch of grass, a lamppost, a bit of dirt on the sidewalk. None of that is random to them. It's information. When you keep cutting that off, the walk starts to feel incomplete from their side. You'll notice it later. They come home but don't fully relax. They seem restless, or they go looking for something else to do. Slowing down on a walk doesn't need to change much. You don't have to stop at everything. You just leave a little more room than you used to. Once you do, the walk starts to feel different for both of you. Number 3, keep your distance from triggers. If your dog reacts to other dogs, or people, or certain sounds, there's something that helps more than most people realize. Distance. Not training in the moment, not a sharper correction, just space. Every dog has a point where something is close enough to set them off, and a point where the same thing is manageable. That space in between is where they can actually learn. At a safe distance, your dog can see the thing, notice it, and still check in with you. That's where you can mark the calm and reward it. Over time, the distance shrinks on its own, not because you forced it, but because your dog got comfortable. If that means crossing the street, ducking behind a parked car, or turning around when you see something coming, that's fine. None of that is failure. It's just giving them enough space to not lose it. That's where the progress starts. Only 2 more to go, and number 2 is the rule that unlocks everything else. Number 2, be a tree when they pull.
Oh dear, not like that. We don't go outside like that.
This one sounds almost too simple to work. The moment the leash goes tight, you stop. You don't correct. You don't pull back. You just stop moving. Your dog might pull harder for a second. They might look back at you, confused. Then the leash loosens. The second it does, you take a step forward again. The idea is simple. Pulling doesn't move things forward. A soft leash does. In the beginning, you might not get past your own driveway. That's normal. A short walk where something is being learned is worth more than a long walk where nothing changes. It takes a few days for most dogs to start figuring it out, but once they do, the leash starts to soften on its own. You stop feeling like you're constantly reminding them. They just start adjusting. And finally, number 1, check your own energy.
At no point is George looking up to me for guidance and direction. He's looking off in the distance.
This is the one that's easy to overlook. Your dog picks up on more than you think. How are you breathing? How tight your shoulders are? How hard is your hand gripping the leash? All of it travels down the leash without you saying anything. So when you spot a loud dog up ahead, and your whole body braces, your dog feels it before they've even seen what's coming, and then they react. And it looks like the trigger caused it, but part of it started with you. The shift here is small. You breathe out. You loosen your grip. You let your shoulders drop. You do that before anything happens, not in reaction to it. Your dog notices the change almost right away. They don't know what changed. They just feel like you're steady, so they don't need to be on alert. Over time, that becomes the bigger pattern. You stay calm, they stay calm, and the walk stops being something you're managing. It starts being something you're doing together. Those are the 10. None of them is dramatic on their own. Most feel small in the moment, but they add up in how your dog experiences the walk. If you change one thing this week, you'll probably notice a difference. Maybe not right away, but it'll show up. If this helped, leave a like and subscribe. It lets us know to keep making videos like this. Which one are you going to try first? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.